I'm Elia Locardi. Join me as I travel through Kentucky and see its beauty through my lens. This is Kentucky in Focus. Louisville, home of baseball and bourbon, this city has a rich culture and vibrant soul. And what better way to see it than from the very top? At the corner of Clay Street and Muhammad Ali Boulevard sits the University of Louisville Hospital, the site of my first adventure in the city. Whenever I visit a new city, I do a little bit of research to find higher vantage points to be able to photograph the skyline from a slightly higher view. And Louisville is known for some pretty nice cathedrals. So for this shot, I wanted a higher vantage point to photograph the downtown, and I also wanted to include what I think is the best cathedral for photography, right over here. I have my camera set up shooting fairly wide, around 26 millimeters, because I have natural stopping points on either side of the skyline. And what do I mean by that? I have this big building right here. So obviously I don't want any of that big building in the frame, which means that I can shoot down the street just before the edge of that building. Past the cathedral too far to the right, I have the bridges, but there's nothing unique about the skyline in terms of varying heights of buildings. Everything that varies or has different heights is right here. So through the camera here, if I take a shot, this is about as wide as I'd shoot. But I'm a little concerned about the sky. The sky is completely blue, and it looks like all the beautiful clouds are moving out of my frame. So in this situation, I may want to reframe, focus a little bit more on the city so that I can minimize the blue sky. I've recomposed, I've zoomed in, and something that I've been very careful of is not cropping any of the big buildings. So both on the left side and the right side, I have some pad or some space between the buildings themselves. But I think I can take this even further. Let's recompose one last time. This is about 50 millimeter. It's about as far in as I'd like to zoom. It still focuses on the cathedral and some of the different buildings. So depending on what the sky does in the next 20 to 30 minutes before sunset, I may end up choosing this version or the first one that was the widest. I'm all set up. This is a great location. Now I'm just gonna wait for the light. I've been shooting up here for about an hour and a half, all the way through the sunset and the blue hour, and here's my favorite shot. This cityscape really makes me want to explore more of Louisville, and a quick Google search reveals one of its most popular attractions, the Louisville Mega Cavern. Located underneath the city in a former limestone quarry, this cavern stopped being mined in the 1970s. Now, it's an adventure park with a ropes course, a tram tour, and its star attraction, the zip lines. How long has this been here?
So this was an abandoned limestone mine that was abandoned in 1979. The mining took place starting in 1932. And so for a little over 40 years, they dug this out and it became the largest building in Kentucky.
So what can someone expect to be able to do here?
Well, so we have a lot of the world's only fully underground zip line tour, an electric bike tour. We now do a mega walk or a hiking tour down here. Our longest traditional tour is the mega tram tour. And then we also have an aerial ropes course. And we have the world's largest and only underground Christmas light show. Wow. Where you can drive your own vehicle through the cavern.
Well, this is an incredible system. So I'm guessing the zip lines are the most popular attraction?
Yeah, and they're open year-round. There are 6 different zip lines, 2 suspended bridges. It's a full guided, full service tour, so they basically handle all of that equipment that you've got on you. Just absolutely have a blast with them.
Wow, it's incredible to have all this so close to the city.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, we are literally 10 minutes from downtown Louisville.
Well, I'm ready to try a zip line. It's been a long time.
All right.
And I don't think I've ever done this in a cave before.
Well, you've got 2 excellent guides today. Enjoy it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This looks creepy.
This is our zip line to hell.
How come you start with hell?
It's a weird decision, but we felt like we had to go from the bunny to the money. We had to get right into it. It's a nice change from the practice line because it throws everybody off, but I think it's a good way to start the course.
You go right from the bunny slope to hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Love it.
It's a good transition. But this line, it's a little over 600 feet long. All I gotta do is hold onto the handbar, keep your knees up. We'll take care of the rest.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir. Step on this first step for me. All right, you can go ahead and step on up here.
Okay, so safety lanyard first, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna clip you into the cable first just to make sure you don't go anywhere. Then we'll get you all hooked in. Tighten that down, get you a little closer to the line.
Sure.
All right. we're all set to go.
All right, so basically I just hold on to this.
Yes, sir.
And then I just sit down?
Yep, sit into your harness, hold your knees up. It'll take you right on down there.
All right.
Yes, sir, you're good to go.
Well, haven't been to hell yet today.
It's always first for everything.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Maybe I'll see you later, maybe not.
See you in hell.
Flying through the dark inside of what is technically Kentucky's largest building was quite exhilarating, but I still wanted to learn more about the city from above ground. A friend of mine told me about a local artist, Mo McKnight, who opened a gallery and store to showcase the very best of the local Louisville art scene. After you. Wow, this is an amazing store. So everything here is created by local artists?
Yes, everything here is made by local artists. We have over 150 artists in here.
Wow. And what made you want to curate a collection like this?
I think it was graduating with a lot of friends that needed a place to sell that wasn't maybe a super high-end gallery. This was like a good stepping stone gallery, a place where everyone could sell their art when I graduated from art school.
So walking into a place like this, I would assume that this art comes from all over the world. Were you surprised that there were this many talented people locally?
Yes, having this place and starting to get a lot of submissions and artists that were interested opened my eyes up to a huge creative world that I don't think I knew existed.
Has it grown over the last few years since you've been doing this?
It's grown a lot. You know, part of the reason why we started the gallery is because we wanted to create that economy for artists here, because before that, it was kind of like, well, you need to go to New York or LA. We started seeing consistent paychecks going out to artists every month. And so that got more people creating, got more people selling their art. And then obviously with the age of Instagram and online marketing and whatnot, I've seen a huge growth in the creatives in Louisville and it actually being a job.
Has that attracted new artists to come here to Louisville?
I think so. I really do, because Louisville is super affordable. You know, an artist can buy their house here, they can afford to live here, and also be an artist full time.
So what's up here?
So this is the actual gallery portion of Revelry. So we were just in the boutique. Every single month we feature a different solo show. A lot of these are up and coming artists. Like this artist, this is their first solo show. She went to Parsons School of Design in New York and is now, you know, doing a whole show about Louisville. And again, I just feel like we're that stepping stone gallery that kind of helps and mentors people in their artistic careers.
Well, I feel like that could be really exciting too. Especially in a local scene, to be able to have gallery space like this.
Absolutely, yeah. We love being that gallery for people, for sure. And it's affordable. Like we try to always have artists make maybe a couple really large pieces that are expensive, then some mid-sized pieces, and then some small pieces or prints so that everyone can afford their art. This is Hunter S. Thompson, and this artist actually made a little statue of him, a little puppet of him. We're really proud of him, and I love this particular piece.
I love it, and I am a Hunter S. Thompson fan. I love Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I read the book, saw the movie and everything, but I actually didn't know he was from Louisville.
A lot of people don't.
So I've learned something new.
There you go.
Mo, thank you so much for having us and inviting us into this amazing space. And Major, thanks for being such a good host, buddy. You did such a good job.
He's happy to have you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Louisville has so many attractions to offer, but it's not Kentucky's only beautiful city by the river. Covington, Kentucky, located at the confluence of the Ohio and Licking Rivers, has a charm all its own. Welcome to Covington in northern Kentucky. I'm here in Covington because I want to capture a photo of the Covington skyline. And I also want to capture the Roebling Bridge, which was actually built by John Roebling and was the first bridge to cross the Ohio River and connect Kentucky and Ohio together. Now, in order to get the bridge and Covington in the same shot, first thing we're going to need to do is cross the bridge. So now here on the other side of the bridge, I want to try to be able to get the bridge and the skyline together. But the bridge is really close. So once I get the camera set up, I'm going to see if I can compose this and how interesting it actually looks. So with a shot like this, it's kind of about finding the balance. And what I want to achieve is to put the bridge and the skyline together. And with this, the bridge itself is sort of foreshortened down this perspective, and the buildings, the more interesting side of Covington, is to the right. So if I frame something like this, I can frame a portion of the bridge on the left and the skyline on the right. Now, even if I switch to an ultra wide angle, this bridge is super close. And if I frame the entire thing with a wide angle, the emphasis would really be on the bridge itself and not Covington. And I want to be able to capture them both. I'm going to go to the other side of the bridge and try to frame the buildings behind the arch of the bridge. Let's move over there. And by moving further this direction, I'm essentially just adjusting the parallax, where the bridge covers the buildings. And right around here, it crosses right in the middle of those two tall buildings. And I think it looks pretty interesting, but there's only one way to find out. Let's frame it up. The other side was nice, but it had its issues. It made the bridge a main part of the photo rather than emphasizing Covington itself. This side's a little bit different. It puts the bridge right in front of the Covington skyline, but I'm still not completely happy with it. I feel like we could get a little bit higher up and actually compress everything together in a better way. I can frame the entire bridge and the skyline from here, and I feel like I'm at just the right height. I think this is going to work out perfectly. Well, let's start by taking a look at what we have. Just frame this at about 28 to 35 millimeter. This is going to be right around 35. And I'll take a quick shot. So in this, we can see the street, the park, we can see the bridge, we can see everything, but I feel like we don't need to see all of this in the foreground. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit further. Let's try around 50 millimeter, and let's see if we can kind of compress this down and pull it all together. Something more like this. Now what I've done here is I've cropped out this main street, left the trees, left the park, compressed or cropped the frame so that it's just on the bridge and Covington. I'm really happy with this frame, and I had a little bit of time to wait for the right light. I really want the sunset to do something nice to the sky and add some really good colors to the frame. But this also goes to show you that with cityscape photography, sometimes the best positions are in easy to access locations. Wow. With the sky and the beautiful color, when the lights on the bridge turned on, the whole scene came alive.
And I know Kentucky is most well known for the landscapes, waterfalls, and nature, but there are some really beautiful cities and architecture to photograph as well.